My name is Gregory Eddi Jones. I'm an American artist. I live and work in Philadelphia, and I'm also a writer and the publisher of In the In-Between. I've just always been in love with photography since I was 15. My first big experience with photography was in New York City as a tourist, and I remember making a photograph of the Twin Towers in the summer of 2001. And then a couple months later, when the towers came down, it kind of had a really profound effect on me and my understanding of images. And now, I really think of myself as a kind of a post-9/11 artist. I'm very aware of the context that I'm working in, be it technological, cultural, social, and all of that really kind of feeds into my work. My inspiration really comes from looking at the history of photography and of painting, and looking for traditions to tap into and to participate in myself. With Flowers for Donald, I'm looking at the traditions of floral representation within art and that very long tradition of artists using flowers in some way or another to create work. And I'm using that motif to sort of update it for my understanding and the contemporary world. Flowers for Donald is a series of digital collage that I began making about 3 days after the 2016 US election. And really it was a way just for me to kind of try to find a way to respond to such a kind of a significant and heavy event. And so I looked back at some of the traditions of Dadaism in the early 20th century, and I thought I would use some of those strategies to kind of explore this new political environment that we're in now. Mirror the absurdity of it all through the aesthetics of the work, by using very cartoonish-like marks and a lot of imagery that competes with each other, lots of visual noise and information, a kind of bombardment of visual stimuli that seems to be the nature of contemporary media and how we receive all this information of political news and current events and things like that. One of the images of the series is called A Nice Day. It has a blue sky with white puffy clouds, and I kind of envisioned it as maybe a kind of scenario that Donald Trump would think is a nice day, where there are fighter jets flying through the sky is a symbol of American power, and there's an image on the wall of the inauguration crowd, which he touted as the largest ever, but it really wasn't. So I photoshopped the image myself to make it look like there were more people in it. Kind of in a way to, the whole series really is almost a reflection of the things that I think Donald Trump values as a person. It's spectacle and over-the-top blatant artifice, and all the pictures are total lies, they're fabrications. None of it's true, and that's very much the kind of media environment and the culture that he has brought with him to the presidency. Every project that I produce kind of has a different set of concerns. I always like to kind of challenge myself with new ideas with each new work that I make. A lot of my work explores the politics of images, trying to uncover maybe hidden meanings or understandings of common images that we all kind of encounter on a regular basis. So Flowers for Donald is an extension of that interest, but I think it's probably the more politically direct work that I've made. The materials that I use to make the work, everything, all the images that I use are drawn from the web. Flowers for Donald, I work in a very stream of conscious kind of way where I'll be sitting at my laptop, working on an image, listening to political commentary, and certain ideas will come into my head, and I'll go online and I'll find an image that kind of matches that idea, and I'll put it into the picture. Everything is done digitally, no physical materials at all. Art and photography, it's all a conversation, What would be a good subject What would be a good subject for a conversation? You know, if you're just speaking to a friend or you're talking to family, and what are you talking about? You can make a work of art about something boring and make it interesting. You could have a really interesting, unique subject and it could be totally boring. You know, it's just what the artist makes of the idea at hand.